Hello friends, today we are going to go through the solutions of GATE daily quiz Strength of Materials week 2 June 2025. So this is the second assignment of all the 8 assignments that you have. So let us quickly go through all the solutions. So this is the first question. Which of the following is the correct statement? Planes of maximum shear stress are free from normal stresses. We know this is correct, but we will also try to verify it. Principal planes are free from normal stresses. Now, principal stress itself is a normal stress. So this is a very absurd line. Principal stresses are free from normal stresses, right? So this is definitely not going to be true. Why again? Because principal stresses itself are normal stresses. So this also gets eliminated, both A and B, because B is not true. Now, the option is either A or D. Now let us see what about the planes of maximum shear stress. Now, it is not necessary. We have already seen right in our classes that the planes of maximum shear stress are not free from normal stresses. In fact, the normal stress on a plane, on the maximum shear stress plane, is given by sigma star, which is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 divided by 2. Right? That is the average of the principal stresses. Right? We can also see this in the normal, in a Mohr circle. Right? So if you draw a Mohr circle, let me say this is how the Mohr circle looks like. Right? So this is the major principal stress. This is the minor principal stress. Right? And this is, the Tau-max plane. So what is this normal stress on the Tau-max plane? That is sigma star. So what will be the answer? Right? So basically this is also a wrong. The planes of maximum shear stress are free from normal stresses. Right? They are not free from normal stresses. Right? So the correct answer is none of the above. The correct answer is none of the above. Right. Let us go on to our second question. Okay, the state of stress at a given point is as following. Calculate the principal stresses. We have seen a similar question in our first assignment also. And from our first assignment, we know how to calculate the principal stresses, sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. It is nothing else but the eigenvalues of this matrix. Now, that was an easy matrix where the diagonal terms were 0. So it is easy to calculate the eigenvalues of such a matrix using the normal method that we learn. But if you see, if you try to find out the eigenvalues, it might take quite a lot of time for this matrix, right? So we have a shortcut. Now all of you know, right, if you have done your maths properly, that the sum of the eigenvalues of a matrix is equal to trace. Now what is the trace? Trace is nothing else but the sum of the diagonal terms, right? So we know that sum of the eigenvalue is equal to trace, that is the sum of the diagonal terms. So this is a shortcut trick that you can use to find out the eigenvalues. So what you need to do is now you just need to cross check which of the 4 options, right, they add up to the trace, that is 3 plus 2 plus 5, that is equal to 10. If you see, these 2 are directly ruled out. Why? Because these are completely negative. You need not add them. Try to add this, you'll get somewhere around 11. Try to add this, you'll get somewhere around 10. Right? So this is the right answer. Now, if you are not able to apply this tactic, right, then what? Then you'll have to solve for the eigenvalues normally the way you do in mathematics. Now let me warn you here, there is a slight misprint in this question. If you try to solve it in a normal way, you will not get the answer because this is not a symmetrical matrix. We all know that the shear stresses, these 2 quantities should be equal. Similarly, these 2 should be equal, right? And we know these 2 are equal. But unfortunately, it is written 1 here, it is written 2 here. So if you try to solve it by normal the way you find out the normal eigenvalues, you'll actually not be able to come up with the right answer. So for this question, you'll have to The only way to come up with the right answer is the sum of the diagonal terms, that is a trace, right? So this is small misprint, but nevertheless, we can still find out the answer for this question. Okay. So here is a solution already given to you, right? And you can definitely go through it. Let us now go to question number 3. The principal stress at a point across two perpendicular planes are 100 megapascal and 50 megapascal. So these are the principal stresses given up to you. This is sigma 1, this is sigma 2. The normal and tangential stress on a plane at a clockwise angle, right? Clockwise angle of 20 degree with the major principal plane, right? So how to solve this kind of problem, right? Let me say this is the cube which is representing the principal planes. This is sigma 1, this is sigma 2. Take a plane which is at a angle of 20 degree to this plane. Okay, take a plane which is at the angle of 20 degree to this plane. You simply need to find out what is the normal stress and what is the shear stress on this plane. It is exactly same, right? If you solve it this way, then you will also get it. So this is what we have done. We have drawn the element, right? So sigma 1 is on the x-axis, sigma 2 is on the y-axis, right? And you have taken a plane which is at an angle of 20 degree, right? And we need to find out what is the value of sigma and the normal stress and the shear stress on that plane. Isn't it? The normal stress and the tangential stress is nothing else but shear stress on the plane which is clockwise at an angle of 20 degree. Now we all know the equations, right? What is the equation for normal stress? This is the equation for normal stress, that is sigma 1 plus sigma 2 divided by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 divided by 2 into cos 2 theta plus tau 1 2 sin 2 theta. I've simply replaced x and y with 1 and 2, right? Substitute the values, you'll get the value of normal stress, right? Now tau 1 2 is nothing else but 0. Tau 1 2 is nothing else but 0. Similarly, the value of shear stress, right? Sigma 1 minus sigma 2 divided by 2 sin 2 theta plus tau 1 2 cos 2 theta. This is equal to 0. I'm not using the minus sign here. Why? Because we just need the magnitude. Anyways, we know that, right? So 100 minus 50 divided by 2 plus sin 40 and plus 0. So it is somewhere around 16. So what is the answer? The answer is C. 16, 94 and 16. Okay. So let us move on to the next question. Yeah. So there are two principal strains at a point. This is one of the principal strain and this is the other principal strain. Right? So which one is the major principal strain? Basically, this is the major principal strain and this is the minor principal strain. Right? The larger is the major and smaller is the minor. Right? The maximum shear strain is equal to. Now we all know what is the formula for shear strain. Okay? It is gamma maximum shear strain divided by 2 is equal to larger of epsilon 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by 2, only the magnitude, okay? Epsilon 2 minus epsilon 3 divided by 2, only the magnitude. Epsilon 3 minus epsilon 1 divided by 2, only the magnitude. Okay? Now in this question, you can clearly see that the value of epsilon 3 is 0. The third principal strain is not there. So epsilon 3 will get cancelled out. Now this equation will change to something like this. If you put epsilon 3 is equal to 0, it will change to something like this. Again, 2, I can cancel it from both the sides, right? If I cancel out the 2 from both the sides, right? So gamma max, the maximum principal strain, is equal to epsilon 1 minus epsilon 2, the magnitude of epsilon 2, magnitude of epsilon 1. Why? Because I have simply substituted epsilon 3 is equal to 0, right? Now, out of all these three, right, we can clearly see that the maximum value will be for this. It is simply considered a magnitude. Epsilon, actually, I made a mistake while writing down the problem, right? So it should have been actually minus 200 mod of minus plus of 100, because epsilon 2 is 100, epsilon 1 is minus 200, isn't it? Let us cross check. Yes, epsilon 1 is minus 200, epsilon 2 is actually 100, right? So in any ways, you're going to get minus mod of this, and that is equal to 300 into 10 to the power minus 6, right? So the correct answer for this question is also A, right? Okay, let us go on to question number 5. The two-dimensional state of stress at a point in a plane stress element is represented by a Mohr circle of 0 radius. So this kind of question we have repeatedly done many number of times in this class, right? So if the Mohr circle is a 0 radius, it simply means it is a point, right? So if it is point, sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2, right? And the shear stress is equal to 0. So then both the principal stress are not equal to 0, they're equal magnitude and of same sign, right? And shear stress is definitely 0, right? Shear stress is definitely 0. So this is how the Mohr circle will look like, right? You can see that sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2, right? And the shear stress, the value of shear stress is 0 here. Let us go on to the next question, question number 6. The axial tensile load of 150 kilonewton is applied to a prismatic bar hanging from the ceiling. Determine the elongation of the bar if its self-weight is ignored. So the self-weight of the bar is ignored here. The length of the bar is 2 meters. The area of cross-section is given as 0.0004 meters square, and Young's modulus of elasticity is given. So you need to find out the elongation, right? So this is how the bar will look like, right? A weight of a force of 150 kilonewton is acting. The length is 2 meters. If I convert it into mm, it will become 2000. Area also I've converted into mm square, that is, it's coming out to be 400 mm square. And E is given in gigapascal. I have converted into megapascal. So megapascal, we all know from our classes that 1 megapascal is equal to 10 to the power 3. Oh, sorry, 1 megapascal is simply is equal to Newton per mm square, right? So this is nothing else but megapascal. So if you see it that way, so what is the total elongation? Total elongation formula is delta L is equal to PL by AE. So you substitute the values, right? And you get the answer as 3.75 mm. So correct answer is B. Okay? A very simple question, but yes, this is important concept-wise. This question helps you to just keep on practicing the formulas and keep your mind sharp, right? So that you are able to solve them very fast. So that's it. So this is a very simple exercise, right, for this assignment, right? So next we'll solve the assignment 3 shortly, right? So let's go there. I hope things are clear.